Hari Om Tat Sat, Namaste, and good morning to those of us on this time zone. Good evening to those of us who are on other time zones where it's evening. I also want to take this opportunity to wish all of you a very happy Deepawali, or a happy Diwali as you would call them. Um, we have celebrated yesterday the third day of Diwali, especially in India, where the third day has been celebrated as or ended with Lakshmy Puja. And it's a day of festivity, it's a day of color, it's a day of self adornment, beautification, as well as everything around. So, for those of you who were also in the evening session, you got to see me in my Diwali best yesterday in the evening. Uh, and it was it's too early for me to dress up in my sari and everything for this morning sadhana, but the sentiment still remains. um, Today I will just give a small understanding of the meditation before we actually get into meditation. So Lakshmi Puja, which is done on the third day, is the day which is also known as the Badi Diwali, or the actual Diwali that is celebrated of all 5 days. And what happens is from day one to day two, you're starting to prepare for welcoming Ma Lakshmi, who through the puja, which is only done in the evenings. It's done after the sun sets. It's late in the evening when all the houses are lit with the different diyas, with the light, so that Ma Lakshmi can come into our homes. This coming in of light is that festival of lights that it is called. But it is also celebrated in different parts of the country with different relevance. In some communities, it is also celebrated the as the coming home of Lord Rama with his wife Sita and brother Lakshman from the forest uh, back to their home in Ayodhya. When all the people of Ayodhya were so happy and excited and pleased to see them come back, that they welcomed them by lighting every home, every entrance, every gate, every establishment, everything that was there, so that they would not just feel welcomed, but they would also be able to see their way home. Okay, because they were in exile for 14 years in the forest. And then, so that is one story of it. And then we've got the one where Narakasura was killed. And that is another legend. The other one is, of just the victory of light over darkness. In the Sikh community, it is also, and this is something I learned yesterday from one of my friends and my students, Mandy. I did read of it in some other posts, but I didn't know of it until Mandy shared it with me. And in the Sikh community, they also call it Bandi Chhod. It is when one of their gurus, I think the sixth guru, if I'm not mistaken, Har Gobind Singh, was freed from imprisonment by the invading emperor at the time. And to celebrate his release, it's also celebrated with lights and diyas and bringing back in the enlightenment to our lives. In all of these, what's common is the coming back of light into our lives. And I'll speak a little bit more about this enlightenment in the satsang later. But I wanted to set the tone of why enlightenment, because in our individual lives, we have a home. We have a home where we live. And even for those who would essentially be homeless, they also have a space that they inhabit. Okay. So we have a physical house of sorts. But if we do not have that physical shelter, we still have our personal home where the essence of who we are, our self, resides, where we live. So that this body also becomes a physical home, like a capsule. And we ourselves, when we identify with the body, become the the encasement or the casing of who we essentially are. And just as we light up our homes, we need to light up our own lives as well through the lighting of our own selves. And that is the significance of Lakshmi Puja, or the actual significance of Diwali and the actual significance of Deepawali. On that note, today's meditation will be a similar meditation to what I took the evening batch with, because it's important for us to start recognizing how we light up our lives. Okay. We will also include 11 repetitions of two chants that were given as part of the digital prasad and sadhana by Swami Niranjanananda for Deepavali. And very simple, very easy chants. I will put them in the chat as well if you'd like to chant along with me. And you're welcome to continue chanting these sometime during your day, 108 times, because that is the original sadhana. But to introduce you to it in our meditation, we will do it only 11 times each. Okay. So let us begin our meditation. Find a comfortable seated posture. If you're sitting on a chair, place your feet firmly on the ground. Spine erect, but not rigid. Shoulders relaxed. Long neck, soft face. Smile in your heart to reflect a smile on your face. Palms resting easily on your knees, or if you're sitting in a cross-legged posture, choose a mudra of your liking. Begin by taking 3 deep breaths. Exhaling with a sigh. 2 more times on your own. Before we begin our meditation, let's ask ourselves a few questions. It's okay if you do not know the answers to these questions, but it's a good time to begin this dialogue with yourself. Who am I? Who am I? Allow the answers to just rise spontaneously, without resisting, without engaging in further dialogue with the why of the answers. What do I want? What do I really want? The answers may be spiritual, material, physical, physiological, and that's fine. What do I want? What is my purpose in life? What is my swadharma? How can I help? How can I serve? What am I grateful for today? What am I thankful for? Now, with a deep breath in, as you exhale, let go of all these questions and answers and allow the universe to work out the details for you. Now, become aware of your physical body as you're seated for meditation. Become aware of where you're seated, how you're seated, how your body is positioned. Become aware of how your body looks like or appears from the front, from the left, from the back, from the right. And now visualize this image of yourself in your Chidakash, the black space behind your closed eyelids. Visualize yourself, the image of your seated meditating self. Now see yourself as an outline. See yourself as with boundaries, the boundaries of your physical form. And become aware of its physical image, all in your Chidakash. Now, in the true spirit of Deepawali, as I mention the part of your body, see it light up in this image in your Chidakash. Right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, armpit, right side of the torso, waist, right hip, right thigh, right knee, right shin, ankle, heel, top of the foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Become aware of the entire right side of the body, all lit up. Moving on to left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, left shoulder, armpit, left side of the torso, waist, left hip, thigh, knee, shin, ankle, heel, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Awareness to the entire left side of the body, completely lit up. Now for the back of the body, left sole, right sole, right calf, left calf, back of the left thigh, back of the right thigh, right buttock, left buttock, hips and your lower back, middle back, upper back, back of the neck, and the entire back of the body, aware and lit up. Back of the head, top of the head, awareness to your head. Now the front of the body, awareness to your face, your neck, throat, chest, abdomen, center of your heart, the center of your throat, the tip of your nose, the space between your eyebrows, and become aware of your entire front of the body, all lit up. Become aware of your entire body completely lit up, illuminated, shining, glowing. Stay with this awareness for a few moments. Now begin to feel a blurring of the edges of the boundary that you noticed around yourself. And as the edges blur, see this light within you move on and spread to illuminate everything around you and everyone around you as well. See the light that is within you glow and light up the space around you, the objects around you, the people around you, lighting up your entire home, right? Lighting up your entire city, lighting up your entire state, your country, neighboring countries, the continent, the oceans, the seas, lighting up the entire planet. And further lighting up everything that is beyond our planet, our universe, and the many other universes that we can perceive and not perceive. Now bring your awareness to yourself as you are seated for meditation. Become aware of your physical presence here, the space around you. Mentally assure yourself that you're meditating in a safe space. Remind yourself where you are and what you're doing. And whenever you're comfortable, slowly open your eyes. The two chants that we will be reciting, I'll just put them in the chat. The first is for Mahalakshmi, and that is Om Shrim Mahalakshmiyai Namaha. And the second one is for the relevance of of Sri Ram's, Lord Ram's return to Ayodhya and the victory of Lord Rama over Ravana is Shri Ram Jai Ram. We will be chanting both of these 11 times. Okay. They're very simple mantras. One is a mantra, one is a Vedic one, and the other one is more like a bhakti chant. We will be doing that only 11 times just so that you hear it. And usually it is done in sadhana. The mantras are chanted first, and then after a gradual settling, you meditate. Okay. This time round, we're moving it because we're doing 11 times only. It's still early in the morning for many of us. And you can actually carry on the vibration of this mantra through the rest of your day. And you can also choose to repeat it later on. Okay. I will chant it 11 times. It's easy enough. You can follow, you can read it. For those of you who still want a little time with the pronunciation, that's fine. You can just listen to it. Okay. Om Shrim Mahalakshmi Namaha. 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 Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram. 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 Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. So there is a significance of all of these chants and all of these mythologies. We spoke about these yesterday when we spoke about how we're moving in to, from Narak Chaturdashi to Lakshmi Puja, which is the puja done at night. And you see, when we talk about the preparation, when we move from Trayodashi, Chaturdashi to Lakshmi Puja to Diwali, it is not just the ritual of you know of doing all of those things but the ritual of cleaning also begins with, or you beautify your homes for Diwali and you begin with the cleansing. And that's what we did. We cleansed ourselves through Trayodashi and Chaturdashi so that our homes and our houses, as well as our inner homes, are clean enough for Ma Lakshmi to come in and settle down or bring in her abundance into us. And that's why we spoke about the need to give, because from all the legends and all the stories and all the Puranas, we know that Ma Lakshmi stays and continues to bless us with abundance when we share that what we receive from her. Because everything that we have, even if it is just one piece of cloth that we own, that has been given to us by Ma Lakshmi. So it's not ours. Nothing that we create is our entire creation by this physical body. Everything is given to us. And when something is given to us, then It's always easier to give what you have to someone else. So, the spirit of Diwali actually is to enlighten ourselves that much to know that we are not attached to our physical body and our identification, and to actually move beyond that. It was interesting because in the Diwali Satsanga with Swami Niranjanananda yesterday, he was saying about how the essential meaning of Diwali has shifted, how the essential meaning of Deepawali, of what it actually was in the past, has now shifted to bursting firecrackers, having parties, having alcohol, sweets, celebrating. Okay, it's all good. But that is not what Diwali is. The true essence of Diwali is to bring an enlightenment to ourselves and to others, right? Even enlightenment is not a selfish path. It's not something that we say, it's only my job. I don't care about you. I'm just enlightening myself. If you don't take the others with you, then it is not yoga. It's not union. And your enlightenment then will get restricted, because then you bring in one of those four parts of the Chatur part of the Chaturdashi, your ahankara, your ego which says that, sorry, enlightenment is only for me. And it isn't. So anything that we have is what we share. Now, what do we do on the fourth day? That is after Lakshmi Puja. Now, that is Govardhan Puja, but we will speak a little bit on Lakshmi Puja and how we actually move through all these different phases in our body. Now, we spoke about Chaturdashi, and we say that, we have all of these 14 barriers that we have to constantly work and purify. What happens during Lakshmi Puja? What happens when light comes in? When light comes in, we get to access our consciousness, our divine consciousness, because all these lower holds that we have in our body mind complex, for that matter, that is the hold of our physical needs, the hold of our sensory needs and pleasures, and the hold of our mind, our discernment, our judgments, and our ego. When light comes and shines into these 14 aspects of ourselves, individually they get shattered, okay, and they get cleared. Shattered in the sense they are eliminated. The negativity that is there in us is eliminated, and more positivity is brought in. Now, when we think of positivity, we think of light, and pure light in its essence is also broken down into the prism, into different colors of the prism. In our bodies, or in Eastern anatomy, we also know that light is energy, consciousness is energy, and this energy is split in our body in the different chakras that we have. Okay. Now, the different chakras that we have in our body go from a gross to subtle to ultimately the divine consciousness. They have the energy of all those different levels of consciousness, that at the lowermost, at the Mooladhar, we are grounded and attached to the earth and our body and our physical needs and all of that. And as we move upwards, we start becoming a little bit more aware of our emotions, of our feelings, of our sense of power, our sense of identity and ahankara. And then from the time we start involving our heart, we start recognizing the higher, more spiritual, more finer aspects of who we are. But in all of these, what happens is that all our chakras are nothing but representations or vibrations of the Pancha Mahabhutas. Okay, they're all made up of the different elements of nature. And when we think of the story of Lord Krishna's wife, Satyabhama, who kills Narakasura, okay, there is a legend to that. There is a story. But the story goes by to say how, when Krishna goes to kill him, he takes Satyabhama along. And there are many different elements that they have to go through. There are the different fires. There is fire, there is water, there is the air that is toxic, then there are mountains that are tumbling rocks down, and there is thunder and lightning and all of these different things that are there. which is nothing but a representation of all the different obstacles that we have, everything that holds us back from killing that Narakasura in us. Okay. But what happens also, it's almost like a video game, okay, that has all these different levels. That once you've completed level one, then you're in level two, and level one is something that you have accomplished. Okay, it's the same thing that happens with us when we work to purify ourselves to come to the point of connecting with the divine. When we master one chakra, we immediately move on to the next, and the lower chakra has been accomplished. The limitations of that chakra have been accomplished. But what happens if we miss out and we allow our ego to come in and say, hey, I have accomplished this? Then you'll drop again. And that's why constant vigilance is important. You need to be constantly alert to what is drawing us down, what is holding us, what is attaching us. But with diligence, with tapas, with this as your sadhana, these obstacles, which then get more difficult because the easiest obstacles are those that you can see. You can see this obstacle, you can eliminate it, and you can take it off. But the obstacles that you cannot see are the ones that sneak up on you. And they are the ones that tell you, hey, this is difficult. So let's just go back and, just let's get attached to something else because it's easier. It's easier even for our ego to say, see, I have accomplished this. I have overcome the body. Okay. Now, one of the easiest ways for us to actually eliminate negativity is by being as close to consciousness as possible. And from previous discourses, we've also spoken about this. And for those of us who haven't, the easiest one is with Om, not Om, not me, but Om, the mantra Om. Om, that sound of creation, has the power and the potential to eliminate negativity from our lives. So bring in a lot of Om chanting. Uh, and you don't need to only do it for 15 minutes or an hour when you're sitting somewhere. No, you can chant Om whenever you think of it. And every time you think of Om, you're bringing in positivity into your life. Okay? Now, how else do we encourage? How else do we inculcate this positivity in our lives? Yesterday, we spoke of giving to people, right? Physically, because it is a physical sign of abundance and you begin from gross to subtle. Today, we speak about giving and receiving happiness. Okay? It's easy for us to think that we give happiness and we say that, I am. For today, and for those of you for whom it's evening, for until we meet and until we come in for the next satsang, make it a point to bring in happy thoughts and joy to those around you. Okay? Now that's the giving part. And it can be in any way. It can be by giving a smile, it can be by just withholding any sarcastic or difficult conversations, or not difficult conversations, but something that can cause pain to someone else. Okay? Now, I did say difficult conversations, sometimes they need to be had, but if you do not need to have them immediately, then what you can do is now we speak about how do we receive the goodness? How do we receive the happiness? How do we receive the happy thoughts? You receive them by just becoming aware, even with your eyes closed, that there are happy thoughts around me. And when you inhale, you take in those happy thoughts. It's just that. It's that simple shift to inhale, breathe in happy thoughts. Now, why this is important is that negativity exists. Negativity exists within us. Negativity exists in the people around us, in the situations around us. We can manage our own negativity by breathing in positivity, by doing our sadhana, by Om, all of this. We can do that. What we cannot do is change the negativity in someone else, right? That's theirs, that's their work to do. But what we can do is not take in other people's negativity and identify with it and make it our own. That is something we can do. Okay. So for this period, seek to give joy. It is in the essence of Deepawali, because when you give joy to others, you receive it. There is no scope for negativity there. The only negativity that will creep up is if you look for it and you take it. So instead of putting your energy into taking someone else's negativity, put your effort and your energy into giving positivity, giving joy to others. And that would set the stone for a deeper practice for you, that the set the foundation, rather, not the stone, um, for this deeper level of positivity that you can carry for many, many months and years, and maybe your entire lifetime, even beyond these 5 days of Deepavali. So today's message is to share that positivity, to inhale happy thoughts and exhale happy thoughts. Not just, and then when you do come across people, to actually interact and bring in moments of joy, bring in happiness around you. I wanted to very quickly, we just have, I wanted to, okay, there is one more thing that I wanted to share. So Ma Lakshmi, and in at night, okay, during Lakshmi Puja, is said to come on her vahana, or on her mode of, her vehicle of sorts, that during this time, this period of Amavasya, this dark night, right? She comes flying on an owl. Okay. Now that owl has got two forms. There is a form of the owl which actually brings you a lot of goodness and positivity. And there is a form of Lakshmi, or a Lakshmi also, that comes in, who comes in with the owl by the name of Pechaka. Okay, so there is Uluka and then there is Pechaka. Uluka largely comes along uh, with the, let me just see how I've got it over here exactly. Okay, no, it doesn't say over here. So Alakshmi comes with all the, she comes with all the goodness, but she also challenges you to say what you're going to do with all these riches. Okay. If you take in the gifts of Mahalakshmi and keep it for yourself and say, okay, I've got all of this and this is all mine, then Alakshmi stays and Lakshmi doesn't come in. But and that's the significance of the owl, who's usually known as the symbol of wisdom, the greater wisdom that you get from wealth. And she takes it away. So all the wealth that you have goes away if you do not respect it enough to know that you have to share it when you have more of it. Okay. And on the other side, you've got the Lakshmi that comes in abundance when you actually value it and give more of it. So the tradition of giving and distributing a lot of sweets and gifts and all is to tell people that I have this abundance with me, materially, physically, with the food that we have, with the clothes that we wear, or even the wisdom that we have. Okay, I have this with me and I'm happy to share it, because the more you empty your pot, the more that tumbler is available to receive. Even though it's a tiny pot, that tiny vessel can have lots of abundance, because you constantly empty it, okay, by giving it out. Now, the other thing that I also had, remember writing it over here, is the idea of what ahankara is. Okay, where is that I had mentioned? Ahankara, and we talk about it as the ego, is nothing but me. Okay, aham refers to me, and ahankara itself refers to me doing things only for myself. So whenever we hold on to attachment or hold on to any of the things that we have, be it our riches, our wealth, or even our wisdom, even what we know, then it is our ahankara that comes in. So the ahankara is what actually limits us. It is what gives us a limitation to our form, which says, I am just this and I am separate from everyone else. But if our larger purpose is union, then I think it is important for us to start understanding that ahankara needs to be erased a little bit. It will always be there because as long as we have this physical form, we will need the ahankara. But to identify with the ahankara is going to be our downfall. So it's important for us to start blurring these, for us to start recognizing that we are what we receive to be. And we continue to be only when we give what we receive. So, Deepawali, this festival of light, is a very opportune moment for us all to transcend our chakras, to transcend the energies, the obstacles that we have in our lives, to reach a higher state, just a higher state, even if it is just moving from a one level of your gross attachment to a little higher, to a little higher then. So constantly being diligent to evolve spiritually. That is the purpose of Deepavali. And on that note, I shall end today's satsang. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, we are good. I have shared what I need to today. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you. If you've got any questions, any thoughts, we can take those for the next 2 minutes. Tomorrow, I will tell you about the significance of some of our okay, if you do not have it. So you see, yes, I will, Rachna. The recordings of our sessions are also on live. They're being live streamed on YouTube. I will share the links with you so you can have a look at them. So they're there. The significance of Amavasya. Amavasya is the dark night, the darkest night of this month of Kartik as well. When we celebrate Lakshmi Puja, we celebrate Diwali, Lakshmi Puja. Amavasya refers to I am not there. Ama comes from it comes from the word that is no aham. Aham does not exist. Aham is your ego. Okay, it doesn't exist. So amavasya is that time when that is my ego, doesn't exist, and I am receptive. I am open to receive the goodness that Ma Lakshmi brings. So if those of you who were there with me um, for the Navratri sadhana also would remember that one of the most important things we kept reminding ourselves is to be receptive. The energies would be around us. Ma Lakshmi would be there around us. The energy of goodness would be there around us. But if we are not open to receive it, then it'll be lost on us. So we have to have the faith that is around, that this energy is there around us so that we can receive it. So that is what I had. I had not highlighted it, so I missed it. But that is the purpose of why we celebrate it on Amavasya and not on any other day. Okay. So some more stories and some more symbolism tomorrow. Until then, have a very pleasant day, and I will see you all at our next meditation. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sudesh. Happy Diwali, Sudesh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice meeting you and seeing you again, Dominique. Thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate you very much. Patty as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did want to share something that happened today really quickly.
Sure.
I had done some cleaning around the house,
Mhm.
and I took a shower and was just feeling really great and sing and I found myself, doing the mantra while I was in the shower.
Okay.
And then I walked out, and in my room, it was what you said today, the prism and the light of the prism there was just this huge stream of light that is not normally in my bedroom, because it's like it's near an alley. But there was just this huge stream and this huge prism of light. So when you just said that this evening, I received it as a visit from the divine. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Dominique. And it is so important for us to recognize, for us to be receptive to the point of, see, we usually remember things, the gifts that we receive, and we remember a few of them because they are so obvious. But just imagine the number of things that we're not aware of. If we're just aware and receptive to recognize that the divine is constantly around us, because the divine actually supports us in our growth. And there are these little things. And this entire period, these 5 days, is a period that is very, very ripe in meditative energies, in spiritual energies. This is a very good time for all of us to be engaged in spiritual activity, in meditation, in mantra, that it may actually start creating these shifts within us. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's beautiful, and I'm so glad that you got to experience that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing tonight. Well, for me, have a good rest of your morning and day.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Right. See you. Bye, bye, bye.